such a beautiful day outside. There's no better feeling than being able to step outside and catch some vitamin D. But I wanted to bring you guys out here and show you something because this is huge. You see this bar that's mounted to these trees? It's just a pole stuck on a few skinny branches and then screwed into the tree. This is the first pull-up bar that started my fitness journey. This is where it all began. I tied some tape on top of there, put a little platform. This whole area is just falling apart. This tree's actually completely dead. But this is what started it all. And I distinctly remember hanging here, trying to do pull-ups, hanging leg raises, all these things to start working for the body of my dreams. But now, 4 years later, 5 years later, time and time again, I've done the cycle of bulking and cutting, of eating in a surplus, putting on weight, putting on muscle in the best way possible, and then shredding my body fat, doing it again and again and again. And I've taken different approaches, I've taken different systems to how I do it, but at the end of the day, it all comes down to the same numbers, and it's all just one structure that you have to follow in order to purely shred body fat, retain muscle, and achieve that peak aesthetic of your physique. But just a disclaimer before I jump into this video, you guys are gonna see a ton of numbers and a ton of breakdowns of what I've been doing recently to lose 20 pounds in the last few months. These are all just numbers that apply to me, right? You guys saw what I looked like a few months ago. You guys see the physique now. This is just what works for me at my body weight, at my height, at my metabolism, with my training, etc., etc. Use your brain. You're not stupid. When you're watching this video, retain this information, okay? Sit down with a hoodie on, with a notebook, jot some notes down on exactly how you're gonna take the systems that I've used and implement it into your own life so that you don't walk away just mentally masturbating, but actually implementing and executing on the information that I'm gonna share with you. Welcome guys to yet again another video. For those of you that don't know me, my name's Simon and I'm currently prepping for my first ever bodybuilding show. It's 49 days away, exactly 7 weeks away. And I've already lost 20 pounds. I'm aiming to lose another 10 pounds in the next 7 weeks. And this isn't the first time I've gotten shredded, right? Last year, I lost a total of 40 pounds. And now this time around, I'm losing a total of 30 pounds of fat to bring the best conditioning and the best definition when I step on stage for the first time, right? So with that being said, multiple times I've been in some situations stuck with a pudgy physique that, has some muscle on it, and that person would look good if they got shredded, but because of the excess fat that their body holds, they just don't look that good, right? This is literally what I looked like a few months ago. Pretty big difference, right? So with that being said, I'm going to take you guys through the 3 phases that I've been through. Right now we're at stage 3, phase 3, and just break down the approaches that I've taken, why I've taken those certain approaches, what opinions I have on how to get shredded properly and sustainably. And you guys can just take away like, oh, this would work for me, this is something I should implement, or this is absolute bogus and I'm never going to do that in my life. But the fact is, we're getting absolutely shredded, and I'm going to teach you how. I've done it not once, but now I'm doing it twice. So starting off with phase 1. Phase 1, I'm weighing in at 208 pounds, right? I just showed you guys my physique, what I look like. I had a ton of muscle. I made super good progress on my bulk. I wasn't lean by any means, right? And I was eating upwards of 3,800 to 4,000 calories a day, trying to push this up to 210 pounds because mass moves mass. And I really wanted to hit 315 on bench, 3 wheels on bench. I never hit that goal. Pretty pathetic. I'm just a skinny bitch. But 208 pounds was the heaviest I got, right? Morning weight. I probably had food in my stomach, so not fasted, but 208 pounds in the morning. What do I do from here? What is the first step I take to start shredding body fat? So again, I weigh 208 pounds, and I'm going to be completely honest here. I'm not acting like I got fat on accident. I was force feeding myself on a daily basis, trying to eat fairly clean foods to try and put on mass. So I'm not coming from the situation of like, oh, I'm addicted to junk food and that's why I'm fat. No, I had systems and structures in place, so it was comfortable for me to adjust my calories. But we're weighing in at 208 pounds. First thing I did was I started walking more, right? I have this Whoop band that tells me my general activity, that I was walking 9,000 steps every single day. That's between me just being alive, right? Walking around my house and going to school. I was in community college at the time, and obviously my workouts. I'm in the gym. I run a 6-day week program, so I'm in the gym 6 days a week purely to lift weights, right? So that put me, I was walking around 9,000 steps a day without giving it any conscious effort. What I did for phase 1 is I brought that to 12,000 steps. And what I did to get those 3,000 steps in a measurable way is every single morning I would go for a fasted walk. First thing, sun is slowly rising, I'm up, 5 a.m., 6 a.m., whatever it is, I'd get up and I would just go for a 20-minute walk. Me walking for 20 minutes would give me around 3,000 steps, bringing me to 12,000 steps without doing anything else. That's all I did, right? And the next thing is what I did with my calories. I didn't even touch them. I kid you not, all I did was I just said no more junk food. I'm not going to be eating treats. I'm not going to be having ice cream. I'm not going to be having all these things that are super high calorie dense foods, which were actually helping me gain weight. But as I'm trying to get shredded, that's just not going to help me. So I didn't even really restrict myself, right? I would have steaks. I would have 10 eggs every single day. That's a ton of calories. I was just not having any junk food. Our bodies are good at hyper responding to the smallest things. So just this switch up, just tweaking these two habits, walking a little bit more and eating no junk food, brought me to around 198 pounds. That's a 10-pound difference. Now keep in mind, of course I lost some water weight because I was eating less carbs, but 10-pound difference, and all I did was like, okay, little morning walk, no junk food. That's all it took, right? So this is phase 1, is just starting to narrow in and living a more healthy and active lifestyle overall. Transitioning into stage 2, I'm at 198 pounds and I've started to see some progress with my physique, but by no means am I lean yet. By no means am I starting to look shredded. So what do I do from here? How do I ramp this up to that next level in a sustainable way, but in a way that also guarantees me to see progress? Now this might surprise some of you guys. I was still walking only 12,000 steps a day, because the truth is that you can get absolutely shredded. Bodybuilders get absolutely shredded by doing nothing more than just walking. Sometimes they'll bring this number up towards 15,000 steps a day. On rare occasions, 20,000 steps a day, but that's literally all it takes, because your diet is actually what's going to get you shredded, just being in a caloric deficit, right? So at this point, I was like, I'm happy with my routine. I'm pretty active. I'm on my feet. I know it's the diet that needs to be worked, not necessarily my activity level. So this is what I do, right? I keep walking 12,000 steps a day. I bring my calories to 2,550 calories a day. Previous, I would assume I was eating around 2,800, 900, sometimes 3,000 calories a day, but it was random, right? It was spontaneous. I wasn't big on like tracking every single thing. I was more just avoiding this junk food. I wasn't letting myself eat highly palatable foods, right? So it fluctuated, to say the least, but now I set myself a certain calorie goal, which this is pretty high. That's not a massive fat loss diet kind of calorie range for most people. That's maintenance for some people, right? So it's still a ton of food. If you ate 2,550 calories of chicken and rice, like if I put that volume in front of you, it would be like a massive platter of just chicken and rice and asparagus or whatever you want to have with it, right? So if you're not eating like highly palatable foods, if I'm not going to McDonald's and getting a milkshake that's 1,000 calories, this is still a ton of food. And even if it is a very intense deficit, that's okay, because I'm satiated. I'm feeling high energy. My pumps are still good in the gym, and I'm keeping note of that, right? I'm making sure that my body's responding well. And in the beginning of your cutting stages, that's when you have the biggest opportunity to shred the most amount of fat. Now, I'll talk about this more. You don't want to drop these calories too low. But if you take somebody that's eating 4,000 calories a day and throw them at 2,500, they're going to plummet fat, right? You just subtracted 1,500 calories from their diet on a daily basis. That's a massive deficit, but because your body hasn't responded yet, right? It doesn't know it's losing weight yet. It's just like, oh, we started walking a little more and we started eating a little bit less calories overall. I'm fine, right? 10 pounds or whatever. I just lost some water. I just lost a little bit of fat. Your body's not worried. Then you throw this at it and it's like, okay, shred the fat. And it's completely fine with that because you still have a good amount of fat on your body. So you're comfortable with it. And this brought me to 192 pounds. Now you might be surprised. How come I just dropped 10 pounds from eliminating some junk food and walking a little bit more, but now I've only lost 6 pounds? Well, see, the initial weight loss definitely consisted of a lot of water weight. When you start eating less carbs, your body drops a lot of water weight that it's holding on to. So a lot of this weight could have been purely from the fact that I lost water, not necessarily lean, or not lean, obviously not lean, but not necessarily fat tissue, right? Over here, I'm pretty depleted, right? I've already kind of gotten rid of that water. So as I throw my calories down, this is 6 pounds of fat in maybe a month. That's a big deal. That's a very significant amount of weight loss that you're gonna see visual progress from. So it just so happened that phase 2 was only a month for me, but I'm gonna get into phase 3 because this is where we really switch things up, not intentionally. Both methods work, but I'm gonna break down each and every single one for you so that you can take away from it and see what's most sustainable for you. So I'm at 192 pounds. I've made really good progress. And I'm very happy with the way that things are going. I would honestly change absolutely nothing because these calories are still getting me leaner and there is no reason for me to switch things up as I'm seeing good progress and it's sustainable and I'm feeling good. Why would I change anything, right? But this is my first bodybuilding show and I don't know the details of how to prep my body for actually getting as lean as possible and stepping on stage. So I reach out to this coach, right? Through one of my friends that competed in a bodybuilding show. I reach out to this coach and I'm like, hey man, I need guidance. This is my physique. This is what I'm looking like. This is the date of my show. And this was maybe 70 days out. So this was only a few weeks ago, right? And he throws something at me that I was not expecting by any means, right? We take a look at our step count. Still at 12,000 steps. He didn't change anything with my steps, but this literally blew my mind when I saw this. 30 minutes of Stairmaster on top of my 12,000 steps, 6 days a week. Guys, 30 minutes of me on the Stairmaster, my Whoop, according to my Whoop, is around 350 to 400 calories. That's a shit ton. That is a shit ton. But guess what he did with my diet? Let's take a look. Guess what he did with my diet? 2,630 calories. He raised my calories and then he subtracted another 400 to 500 calories from me doing Stairmaster, right? What an interesting approach. Literally a week later, when I wasn't losing 2 pounds a week like he wanted me to, which is a shit ton of weight to lose, I disagreed with it because the chance of you losing muscle mass is very high. I've probably lost already a significant amount of muscle and I'm only going to be losing more because of the rate that I'm losing fat at. But he actually bumped me up to 45. My jaw literally dropped because I'm telling you guys, there are literally bodybuilders out there who bring insane results to the stage, have insane physiques, and they never touch cardio. They only just purely focus on walking and being active every single day, right? Now I sign up with this coach and he throws me 45 minutes of cardio and raises my calories. I'm like, what the fuck? But here's the approach that he's taking when it comes to coaching me, okay? He raised my calories because that gives me more opportunity to eat even more protein. Here at 2,550, I was probably consuming 220 grams of protein a day-ish. Here he bumped me up to 246 grams of protein. protein, keep in mind, I'm at 192 pounds. That is over 50 grams of protein over my body weight consumed daily. So that's a shit ton, and that's amazing. That's actually really good because protein is a very satiating macronutrient, and it serves as that safety net to help prevent me from losing muscle, and it still gives my body resources, to recover from my workouts. But he raises my calories, so I'm not losing weight fast enough. He raises my calories and then subtracts 500 calories. So think about that. He added about 100 and then he subtracted about 500. So he put me down in another 400 calorie deficit by doing this. Now, with that being said, guess what else would have worked? Something like this. He could have just dropped my calories to 2200 and we would have been seeing the same steady results. Now, I could still eat 240 grams of protein a day. Doing this, it would be a little bit more difficult because I would stick to leaner meat sources, leaner protein shakes, etc. And I would be hungry all the time. Here, yeah, I'm fatigued. I'm exhausted from all the cardio that I've done, but then I do get to sit down with like a pretty decent volume amount of food, considering it's 2,600 calories a day, and still consume it. But notice the similarity between these two approaches. It's really the same thing. It is. All it is numbers, right? So at first, I understood like I'm force feeding myself every single day to try and gain weight. I'm eating a ton of food. I'm eating more food than I would even like to eat, right? So the first step that I took was I just eliminated junk food and stopped force feeding myself, and that helped me drop. Then I put my own system in place of I'm gonna stay active, but I'm gonna decrease my calories a bit, and that's gonna put me in a deficit, and I'm gonna keep seeing more fat loss progress. And I was still seeing progress. That's the thing. Like, I was still losing weight. I was just at 192 when I reached out to this coach. And the coach says, listen, man, you're doing great. You've made a lot of progress, but we need you even more shredded ASAP. So what does he do? He puts me in a further deficit, right? That's all it is. He just subtracts some numbers, making me lose fat faster. And now I'm sitting at a whopping 183 pounds 3 weeks later. That's insane. I've never lost weight that fast. And again, there's probably some water weight attached to it, but that's still ridiculous. Another 10 pounds in like 3 weeks. That's pretty. Give your boy a round of applause. Come on, I've been working my ass off. 45 minutes of Stairmaster a day? Fuck me. I hate that stuff. I absolutely hate it. And I'm going to keep with this approach. We're going to keep maybe adjusting the calories, hopefully not the cardio. We're just going to keep tweaking the calories to help me see more and more progress. But I'm losing, obviously, at a very steady rate, so it's all going to work out. But what can you take away from this, and what can you implement into your own cutting routine of how you're going to get shredded, right? The first step is just focus on the lifestyle. Make sure that you're consistently on your feet, that you're getting good steps in, and your activity level is pretty high each and every single day. Don't be eating bullshit. If you want to get, significant fat loss results, let me tell you right now, junk food simply doesn't fit in there. Get rid of it all. Fuck that. Supplement it with fruit. That's another thing. I was eating a ton of fruit throughout this time. That's going to bring you progress. Once you stall, you need to have an amazing grasp on what you're actually doing and what the numbers look like, right? So here's where you're going to put yourself at a calorie goal. You're going to track your calories. You're going to get a food scale. You're going to weigh your meals out. And you're going to be autistic about this stuff. And you're not going to let anything stop you from sticking to that number. You're going to see progress because the math fucking works. If you put yourself at a number and you notice you're losing weight, awesome. Keep it there, keep it there, keep it there until you stop seeing progress or it stalls a little bit. That's when you can increase your activity level or decrease your calories. That's all it ever is. I cannot stress the importance of having a system behind what you're doing in order to achieve the best result possible. Nobody has a six-pack by accident. Nobody gets shredded. Oops, how did that happen? No, you need an intention behind what you're doing to see the best possible results. I don't think this is sustainable. I could never do 45 minutes of cardio a day for, half a year or something. That's retarded. That's so stupid. In my opinion, the diet is where the magic lies. Having control of your calories and being able to adjust it all in line with the body weight that you want to get to. So this is what I do. This is the process I've been through. This is my system. and I need to lose another 8 to 10 pounds in the next 7 weeks following this exact thing. And all that's ever going to happen is coach is going to say, okay, a little bit more cardio, or okay, a little bit less calories, if I'm not losing weight at the right steady rate. Right now, I completely am. I've lost almost 9 pounds in the last, what did I say, 2 or 3 weeks? That's absurd. That is ridiculous progress. What else do you need? But thank you guys for tuning into this video. I hope you took some value away and some information that you can walk away and implement into your own routine, into your own lifestyle, into your own protocols that you need to be following in order to achieve the physique of your dreams. For those absolute killers out there that want guidance and want a roadmap laid out for them of exactly how you're going to go from your current physique to the body of your dreams, go down to the description, okay? There's going to be a link there to apply for one-on-one coaching with me, where we can tailor you a plan and give you guidance on exactly what your sustainable structure and system can look like in order to consistently make progress and be leaning out your physique. Comment down below with any questions you might have, and I'll see you guys here in the next one.